Good morning, Year 8. This morning's assembly, we're going to look at subject specialism, so getting ready for Year 9. So it might seem like it's quite a long way away until you get to Year 9 now, because we're only halfway through the year, but it is time for you to start thinking about what options you're going to have next year and making those decisions, looking at the following presentations and deciding which ones you're going to take. And today I'm going to take you through the process of doing that. And the subject leaders have introduced you to each of your possible options that you may take next year. So as you're hopefully aware, you're currently in Key Stage 3. So you've done Year 7 and you're halfway through Year 8. So at the moment you do a huge number of subjects and you maybe don't spend as much time in some of those subjects as you'd like to. So what we like to do in Year 9 is we start to give you options to specialise in certain subjects. There might be some that are new to you that you've not explored before, and you get a year in Year 9 to explore that subject in greater depth, to deepen your understanding of that subject, and start thinking about which subjects you would like to take for GCSE. Now, it's really important here that you know that these options you're doing now are not your GCSE options. They also do not affect your GCSE options. So if, for example, you decide this year to take photography and for GCSE you think, actually, I want to take textiles, it won't matter at all. You may still choose whatever you like at GCSE. So we call Year 9 is a little bit like a foundation year where we get to specialise in these subjects, but we don't take them forward for GCSE. We don't have to. You can if you wish. Then you go into Year 10 and 11. So this time next year, you'll be making the GCSE options in a very similar way, and that will take you through to Year 10 and 11. So in Year 9, you still do 22 hours of core curriculum. Okay, so this means that you will do 4 hours of maths, 4 hours of English, 4 hours of science, 1 hour of RS, that will increase to 2 when you get to GCSE. In your foundation subjects, you will do 2 hours of geography, 2 hours of history, 2 hours of French or Spanish, an hour of citizenship, which includes computing, and 2 hours of PE. So that isn't affected. We have no options on those. They each stay exactly the same as that looks in there. In addition to the 22 hours that you will spend on the core curriculum, you are going to choose one subject from each of the specialisms below. So you can see performing arts has 3 different specialisms. We have drama, music and PE, so one from that choice. One from art and design, so we have 2 blocks of art and textiles, and one from design technology, so you have the choice of hospitality and catering, design technology or photography, and each one of these specialisms has 1 lesson a week, so that brings you to your total of 25 hours a week. The idea is that you would have 1 of each block. So here's just giving you an example of what one student might choose. So they might do 1 hour of drama, 1 hour of textiles, 1 hour of hospitality and catering. And I just want to reiterate to you, because it's probably our most commonly asked question, that it does not matter what you choose here, you may still choose something different when it comes to GCSE if you wish. In fact, it's a great opportunity to decide, do I want to do this subject for GCSE or would I prefer to do something else? So definitely use it to think about your GCSEs, but it is not compulsory to do any of these if you want to carry forward for GCSE. From Monday the 6th of March, you will be given a set of instructions and in order to access SIMS online options, okay? And your interface looks a little bit like this. I've made it blurry because this is not the exact one, so I just want you to think about the layout of it rather than the actual subjects that are in here, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to have 3 option blocks with each of those three option blocks I've just shown you in, and you will select 1 option from each column. And the option that you select is going to go in blue. So they are your first choices. You will then have the opportunity to select a reserve choice from each column. And it's really important you do this because invariably there might be too many people on a particular course or there might be not enough people. There are very different factors into this. So we need to make sure that you are happy with the choices that you have made. And that's why we ask you to do a first and a second choice. So your first choices will be in blue, your second choices will be in orange. Obviously, we aim to get as many people as possible onto their first choices as we can. You will log into this by your normal Microsoft 365 email and login. Okay, so you do not need to know any other additional details, and all of that information will be emailed out to you on school comms. You will then get a school comms letter to tell you which options you have been allocated. So it's a really, really straightforward process, and there's plenty of instruction and help on that if you need. Hopefully you will do this with your parents so that you have the chance to discuss it with them as well and share your ideas and share your reasoning for why you want to take those subjects.
So why pick drama? Well, if you have a passion for drama and you want to develop key skills such as confidence, creativity, communication and compassion, all of which will help you in any line of work you choose in the future. So what will you be learning? Well, you'll be doing a mix of both scripted and devised pieces where we explore new styles of performance, including physical theatre, crime drama and epic theatre. How will you learn? Well, predominantly it will be practical. However, we will be doing some theory work, similar to what we do in Key Stage 3 at the moment, that will support your performances. I look forward to maybe teaching you in Year 9.
Why should you choose this subject? You should choose this subject if you are passionate about sport, have an interest in how the body works, and want to learn how to improve health, fitness, and your sporting ability. However, this subject is not just for students who already excel in PE. It is for all students who enjoy sport and just want a greater understanding of the importance of sport and a healthy lifestyle. What will you learn? You will learn about the muscular and skeletal systems, types of fitness and how to train them. You will also learn about mental health and well-being, the importance of PE and an active lifestyle, and how to maintain a balanced diet. This will include creating your own training program and analysing a food diary. This learning will lead to improvements in your own sporting performance. How will you learn? Topics will be taught in both theoretical, classroom-based lessons and practical lessons, with a variety of tasks linking to sporting examples. You will complete a workbook throughout the year, which will be supported by a variety of practical lessons.
Hi everybody, today I'm going to talk to you about the option or specialism art and design, which is pretty much a bit of everything. If you choose art and design, you'll have the opportunity to work in a huge variety of different materials. Some of those materials will include doing some photography, so drawing with coloured pencils, drawing with lead pencils, textiles, a bit of ceramics, which is working with clay, some ICT, working on the computer, bit of design using mixed materials, and it's basically a chance to sample everything all in one specialism. You'll learn about a range of different artists and you will have the opportunity to think really creatively, think outside the box. There'll be some homework that you do have to complete, which will enable you to be independent, which is a requirement of the course. But the art department expects you to work hard, but we're going to be working hard with you at the same time. But it is a fun environment. It teaches you lots of life skills. If you like to think differently and creatively, art and design maybe is the course for you. What we would suggest is if you want to pop up to the department and have a look at some different types of artwork, we will also be giving you some opportunity to look at the different specialisms within the lesson time, and staff are available sometimes if you make a mini appointment with us to go through one-to-one if you have any questions. But we will be going through all of the specialisms during lesson times. We're going to put a lesson time in with the entire time so that you can ask any questions that you've got. But art and design, in a nutshell, is a bit of everything. Have any questions? Come and speak to one of us. If you choose textiles, you're going to have the opportunity to work with materials. Some of the work that you might be looking to produce would be weaving, hand embroidery, machine embroidery, felt making, some costume design, costume makeup, and loads of other things. You're going to be learning about colour mixing and the properties of colour. You might be looking at how colour affects mood. You might be looking at properties of the colour wheel, complementary colours, how colour is used in industry, in the fashion industry. You'll learn loads of things that you perhaps don't already know. So it's going to be quite fun and different and new. This is not option or a chance to experiment and see how new materials work and the properties of different materials. Lots of students that take textiles at the moment literally love felt making because it's a little bit messy, and it's fun. It's obviously going to be hard work. There will be some work that you have to do in your own time to create a level of independence, which is required in all of the art courses. But I'm sure that if you choose textiles, you will find it very varied and very different. If you want to know more about textile design, we will be going over everything that you need to know during lessons. If you would like to see some additional examples of current textile work at GCSE or A-level to get excited about it, then we can organise that. But we will be spending an entire lesson to make sure that students understand the difference between art and design, textiles and 3D. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email one of the art staff. And in a nutshell, textiles is about colour, it's about pattern, and it's about fun. Hi everybody, I'm going to run through what the subject Specialism 3D art is. In a nutshell, it is working with different materials such as wire, plastic, cardboard, ceramics, which is working in clay. It could be working on different scales. It's all about building. Much less of the 3D art option is about drawing, so you do not have to be good at drawing to take 3D art. It is mostly about building on different scales. We will show you absolutely everything. It's very unlikely that you will have worked in this way before. It's thinking about different structures. It's looking at different techniques, it's looking at perfecting different techniques, and everything that you will learn will be modelled for you. It's a very new and exciting specialism. We haven't taught it before, and it is very, very different to art and design, which is mostly 2D art. This is all about 3D and thinking about positive and negative space and how materials react with one another. There'll be lots of experimentation and it will be fun. As well as the fun aspect, we do expect you to do some work in your own time. Maybe it could be looking at different sculptures or artists or different practitioners that have created sculptures in the environment. But you will have fun doing this. You might get messy using plaster and different bits and bobs in the art department, but it is brand new. We will give you an idea of the sorts of sculptures that you will be making, and we will do this through lesson time. And we will go through absolutely everything that you can expect to learn in all three specialisms, and we will dedicate an entire lesson to do this. If you have any other questions or you want to come and see one of us in the art department about any of the specialisms, drop us an email and hopefully we will be able to meet up with you one-to-one if you need additional support or want to ask any other questions. Okay, but in a nutshell, 3D art is about building, it's about structures, and it's about experimentation.
Good morning,
Catering
Year 8.
is
My
an
name
absolute
is
essential for life. Okay, no one can argue how important this is as a life
catering
skill.
and
So
why you
if
should
you
choose
have a
this
passion for
subject.
cooking and nutrition,
If
this
you've
is
enjoyed
definitely
your
the
lessons with
subject for
Mrs
you.
Clark or Mrs
And
Golding
it's going to give you
in
lots
Year
of
7 or
theoretical
8,
knowledge
where you
about
made a
the
range of different
hospitality and
dishes
catering
from your
industry,
pizza toast
as well as
to your
allowing you
sizzling
plenty
stir-fry
of time
lessons.
to develop
This
your
may be the
practical
option for
skills
you.
in planning, preparing,
If you're
and cooking
thinking
a
about a
huge
career in this
variety of
subject,
dishes.
not
You're
necessarily
going to
being a
develop
chef
food
or owning a
preparation,
restaurant,
cooking skills,
but a product
problem
analysis, food
solving, planning,
nutritionist. This
communication,
course offers a
organisation and
breadth of
time
different career
management.
options.
You'll also learn about the industry
Or,
itself.
if you have a passion for
The focus is going
cooking
to be
and
on
nutrition,
learning about
this is
different
the
types of
subject for you.
providers, legislation, very, very importantly, food
Moving on
safety,
to what
and different
will I learn?
roles and
There will be a
responsibilities
mix of practical
within
and
that
theory
sector.
lessons.
You're also
Similar
going to
to Year
develop
7
lots
and
of
8,
practical
there
skills
will
as
be a
well
higher element of theory
to meet your
lessons
clients'
compared to Year
needs. So
7
imagine
and
from a
8,
really kind of
but you will
business
still
point
have
of view.
practical lessons.
Lessons will
With
be
the
a
cost of living
combination of
crisis,
practical
recipes
and
have been
theory, and
adapted
you
and
will be
changed wherever
expected to bring
possible.
your ingredients
However, you will
each
still be
week that
required
you
to
are
bring in your
cooking.
own ingredients every time we cook. Therefore, this is something to consider. You will develop your food preparation and cooking skills, as well as transferable skills such as problem solving, planning, communication, organisation and time management. If you enjoy being creative or arty, this will help you with your plating and presentation techniques in lessons. Finally, how will I learn? You will naturally have a combination of practical and theory lessons and will be using your laptops to complete your time plan, research recipes, for example. If you or your parents have any questions, please come and find me in the food rooms or speak to Miss Clark or Miss Golding. Alternatively, you can also email me. Thank you.
Okay, so my name is Mrs. Nichols and I'm just going to talk through with you some of the information on this slide about design and technology. So using the headings that were on the PowerPoint, I'm going to go through and explain why and what and how you will learn in design and technology. So starting off with why should you choose design and technology? Firstly, if you've enjoyed your D&T lessons so far, if you enjoyed making your maze in year 7 or your light in year 8, that would be a good reason. If you enjoy practical lessons, and you're interested in designing and making your own products, it might be that you're considering a possible career in some sort of design or manufacturing job or career. And at the moment, there's a wide variety of careers you could choose from, and they're very, very much in demand at the moment. So it's a very good career to go into off the back of design and technology. So thinking about what you're going to learn, first of all, you'll be sort of developing your drawing skills and learning how to generate sort of creative ideas. And then you've got to learn how to convert those ideas, so those drawings you've got on a piece of paper, actually turning them into a product. And learning how to shape or join materials to enable you to create those designs. There's also lots of ICT work. We use computers for drawing as well as for manufacturing. So some of the parts might be cut on the laser cutter or on the 3D printer. So we need to use the computers to be able to manufacture those parts. There'll also be some theory which we'll learn, which is going to be sort of behind that designing and making. So learning about the materials that you'll be using, learning about where they come from, learning about their properties. You can't design a product that you want to be waterproof if you don't know what materials are waterproof and which materials would be the right ones to use. You have to learn about those materials to be able to make successful products. Also, really importantly, we'll be looking at how those materials impact the environment. So that's obviously a big thing at the moment. Lastly, how will you learn? So not every lesson will be a practical lesson. There'll be some lessons where you're doing some research or you're doing some designing, or we might be talking about the theory behind what we're doing. So it's just saying about looking at the materials or the environmental impact. But the majority of your time will be practical, but not all of it. So lastly, I just want to say, if you've got any questions about selecting D&T as an option next year in Year 9, please either come and see me or Mr. Jenkinson down in the workshops, or you are welcome to drop me an email, or your parents could drop me an email, and we're more than happy to answer any questions. So if you need anything else, to know anything else, please do get in touch. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mrs. Walden and I'm going to be talking about photography. There are 3 headings on the page. Why should you choose photography? What will you learn? And how will you learn? There are a number of things explained to you via the text on the page, but there are also a number of things that I'm going to try to cover that I couldn't fit within the text there, and so hopefully I'll be able to answer all of your questions. So choosing photography means that you'll be working in a different way to possibly the other subjects that you are studying in Year 9. So you're used to exploring different subjects through humanities, maths, science, English, etc. And you have had a small taste of the creative possibilities through your art lessons up to this point. Photography is a little bit different. So although eventually art and photography cover the same assessment objectives and things like that in the later part of your educational structure, there are differences between the subjects, and it might be that you have explored art up to this point and you love working creatively, but you feel that you want to explore art in a different way. So photography is a discipline within art and design. It is something that will enable you to continue that creative journey, but this will be done through digital imagery. Okay, so electing to explore the photography specialism means that you will still work in a creative way, but it will all be done through digital imagery. We do not have a darkroom, so you will not be taking photographs and then processing them in a darkroom. It's all digital. Okay, so photography will help you learn a range of skills throughout the year, and you will explore a variety of materials and processes during photo shoots and via the editing process. Now, we use Photoshop at HGSS, and in order for you to be able to continue with your studies outside of the school setting, we also use a program called Photopea or Photopea, and that's an online program. It is free. It requires no login details. You do not have to sign up to anything. It's really user-friendly, and it is very similar to Photoshop. To assist independent learning, I've also created a range of videos that are on the Photography eStream platform at the school, where students can follow those step-by-step guides and create work more independently. So it is a fantastic program that we use. What will you learn? So as part of the photography offer, we look at a range of things. So you will be exploring the photographic elements to support you in composing photographs and experimenting with different techniques and processes. And we also do spend a lot of time working on literacy and communication skills. Throughout the course, you are going to be exploring different photographers, and you are going to have to read imagery. I know that's a strange concept when it doesn't require words, but you will read imagery, you will look at the work, and you will be able to come to certain conclusions, and you will be able to interpret images in different ways. Okay, so we do cover a lot of literacy skills. There's probably a lot more writing in photography than people first envisage and imagine, but you have to be able to explain the purpose of your images, what you planned, why you've done that, what it means to you, because photography is very subjective and we can't assume people are going to understand what we planned in the first instance. Sometimes it takes a little bit of explanation. All right, but I will teach you how to do that in a very kind of purposeful and succinct way, so it's to the point, there's no waffling. So it doesn't, writing about photography doesn't mean vast amounts of writing. It just needs to be purposeful and relevant. Okay, and then how will you learn? So we are going to be exploring digital sketchbooks in year 9 in September. So you'll be creating PowerPoint presentations, which means you can carry on with that at home for homeworks and things like that. And you will be able to develop your skills and to express that digitally. So it's digital imaging and then digital presentation as well. So I will teach you how to do that in the most inspiring way possible. One thing to note at the end there, you will need access to some form of a camera for this subject. So that can be a phone camera, a compact camera, a bridge camera, a digital SLR. It doesn't have to be yours as long as you've had permission to use it and that you can access it whenever we need to access those cameras. All right, photo shoots are conducted outside of school so that you all have different things in your photographs. Some are done in school, but the majority of them will be done outside of school in your own time as homeworks, in order to make sure that people's work looks different from each other and the work's more interesting and engaging. All right, so hopefully I've explained everything to you and it all makes sense, but please feel free to ask me any questions. If you need to, come and find me and I'm sure I'll be able to assist you. Thanks for listening.
Now you've heard from all the subjects, you can take the next 2 weeks to discuss your options with your tutors. You might discuss it with the teachers, particularly the teachers of those subjects, maybe ask further advice or any further questions that you have from them, and talk about it at home as well. What are you thinking? What would you like to do? What do you think you're good at? We always learn better when we're really passionate about what we're doing, so have a reflect on that too. Think about your future, think about your career pathways that you might be interested in as well. Although, as I've said before, this does not dictate your GCSE options, and they will be chosen next year, and you might choose something completely different altogether. The Sims Options Online instructions will be sent out on the 6th of March, and they will be completed and submitted on the 17th of March. So that's your deadline for when you need to have all of your options done. So they are your first choices and your reserve choices. Don't do this too quickly. Take some time to think about it. Take some time to reflect on it, because this is a great opportunity for you to study something in more depth, more detail, and really develop a passion for something perhaps completely different to whatever you've done before. So thank you very much for listening. Please send any questions up to your head of year, your tutor, and also those subject leaders as well. Good luck, everybody. Have a good day.